Welcome back, makers. This is another video for the rocketeers and the engineers and the model makers. Today I want to turn this into this. And I don't just want to make any other model rocket, I want to make one with these, let's call them compartment doors. You know, these standard elongated rectangles with rounded corners, and you can screw them in and screw them out, and then you have this hole in your rocket tube and you can put stuff inside like sensors or recovery deployment systems or just a Lego figure or whatever you want to send on your little mission. It fits nice and aerodynamically into the curvature of your body tube. It stays nice and stable. You don't have to stack like short pieces of rocket tubes together, which makes it all kind of flimsy. I'm gonna use this PVC tube because I have it left over, but depending on where you live, you might want to use another material. Here in Germany, for example, there's a strict policy of cardboard only for model rocket tubes. So depending on where you live, you might want to take that into account. But I think PVC is a nice material, so therefore I'm gonna use it for demonstration purposes. Whoa. Let's begin. You need to make three things: a hole in your body tube, a cover plate that fits the hole, and a mount piece for the inside of the tube to screw the cover on. I start by making a template. This is the shape that I want my, let's call it the door, to be. I transfer my template onto my main tube where I want the hole to be, and then I cut it out with one of these rotary tools. I first do a kind of rough cut, not quite on the line, and then when I have the rough shape cut out, I use sanding paper and another tip of my rotary tool to smooth it down and make it perfectly the size of my shape. Then I take an additional piece of ideally the same tube, so it has the same curvature. So if you have a long piece of tube, you can cut a piece off and then make the plate out of this tube. And I do the same thing. I transfer it and I cut it out roughly, and then I etch closer and closer by sanding it down until it fits in my hole. Then I need a second piece of additional tubing, or the other side of the tube that I cut the cover plate out of, and I modify my template to be a little more narrow than my hole, so there is this rim where I can lay the cover plate onto and screw it onto later. Again, I cut it out. And now I make holes into these two larger areas at the top and at the bottom. Then I mark through the hole onto my base plate where the holes are and make holes into the base plate as well. Then I put my screws through the holes, through the cover and the mount plate. Then I put the nut on the other side of the screw, and I put a bit of glue around the nut so it stays in place, and I now have this kind of threaded hole where I can put the screw in again and again without the hole getting like looser. And with the cover plate screwed onto the mount, I put the contraption inside the tube, push it down until it is under my body tube hole. Then I use a screwdriver to push it upwards until it snaps right into place. And now that I have my plate and mount where I want them to be, I put a bit of glue down the tube and glue my mount in place. And when it's glued in place and it can't move around anymore, I can screw off the cover plate and screw it back on. It fits perfectly into the hole of the tube, and I can take it off and put my Semtex or my C4 or whatever you're using as a warhead in there and send my rocket on a nice little mission. And isn't that why we all went into model rocketry in the first place? So I quickly made some fins. And then I decorated my rocket with some white sticky paper. And I didn't have a great nose cone, so I just quickly borrowed another nose cone from another model that I built that has the same size in the front. So for now I'm just gonna steal that. And of course, if I wanted to fly, I still have to make like a motor mount and a parachute and stuff. But that's it for now. There's my little cargo box and I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Julian. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you could give it a thumbs up or subscribe and watch more of my stuffs. See you next time. Goodbye. And just to be clear, the explosive stuff, that was a joke. Dear German authorities and CIA and everyone, please don't put me on a no-fly list again.